Question 1. Which of the following is a primary responsibility of a claims adjuster during the investigation of a property damage claim? A. Deciding on the final settlement amount without consulting the policyholder. B. Collecting evidence to determine the cause and extent of damage. C. Contacting the insured's lawyer for all claim disputes. D. Ignoring minor damages to expedite the claims process. Answer: B. Collecting evidence to determine the cause and extent of damage. Explanation: a claims adjuster's primary responsibility during a property damage investigation is to gather all relevant evidence to assess the cause and extent of the damage. This includes documenting physical damage, interviewing witnesses, and possibly involving experts for specialized evaluations, e.g., structural engineers. Option A is incorrect because adjusters cannot finalize settlements without adequate investigation and verification of damages. Option C is not correct as it is not typically the adjuster's role to involve the insured's lawyer unless legal intervention is required. Option D is also incorrect because neglecting minor damages would be unprofessional and could lead to inaccurate assessments, violating the duty to treat all claims fairly and thoroughly. Question 2. Mr. Thompson is a South Dakota auto insurance adjuster handling a claim for a vehicle accident where liability is disputed. The claimant alleges that the defendant's vehicle was at fault while the defendant claims the accident was due to a mechanical failure on their vehicle. How should Mr. Thompson proceed with the investigation of this claim? A. Settle the claim based on the claimant's version of events, since the defendant has not provided proof of mechanical failure. B. Investigate both the accident scene and the condition of the defendant's vehicle considering all relevant factors. C. Immediately recommend that the claimant seek legal action as liability is unclear. D. Close the cases, a no-fault accident and deny all claims from both parties. Answer: B. Investigate both the accident scene and the condition of the defendant's vehicle considering all relevant factors. Explanation: Mr. Thompson should investigate all aspects of the accident to ensure a fair and thorough determination of liability. This includes evaluating the scene of the accident, the damages to both vehicles, and inspecting the defendant's vehicle for evidence of a mechanical failure. If the defendant's claim of mechanical failure is valid, it could reduce or eliminate their liability, but only after detailed investigation. Option A is incorrect because settling without investigating the defendant's vehicle or the full circumstances of the accident would lead to an unfair or incomplete claim decision. Option C is premature as legal action should not be recommended before the investigation is concluded. Option D is incorrect as no-fault claims are not applicable unless the specific terms of the policy indicate such coverage, and this case is related to disputed liability. Question 3. Which of the following is an ethical obligation of a claims adjuster in South Dakota when handling a claim? A. Ensuring that the policyholder is always compensated in full, even if the damages exceed the policy limit. B. Encouraging a policyholder to misrepresent the facts to receive a higher settlement. C. Disclosing to all parties involved any conflicts of interest in the claim process. D. Disregarding evidence that does not support the claim in order to meet company targets. Answer: C. Disclosing to all parties involved any conflicts of interest in the claim process. Explanation: ethical behavior is paramount for claims adjusters in South Dakota and throughout the insurance industry. According to the South Dakota Insurance Code and professional standards, an adjuster must disclose any potential conflicts of interest that may compromise their impartiality or the integrity of the claims process. This ensures transparency and maintains public trust in the claims process. Option A is incorrect because adjusters must adhere to the terms and limits of the policy and cannot guarantee full compensation beyond those terms. Option B is unethical and illegal as encouraging misrepresentation or fraud is a violation of both legal and ethical standards. Option D is also unethical and could lead to severe legal and professional consequences for the adjuster and their employer. Question 4. When adjusting a claim for business interruption due to a fire, which of the following is the most critical factor for the adjuster to evaluate? A. The personal belongings of employees. B. The financial loss incurred during the interruption period. C. The extent of damage to the fire department's equipment. D. The number of employees affected by the fire. Answer: B. The financial loss incurred during the interruption period. Explanation: in business interruption claims, the most critical factor for the adjuster to evaluate is the financial loss the business incurs during the interruption period. This includes assessing the company's revenue losses, fixed expenses that continue during the shutdown, and any additional expenses incurred to resume operations. Option A is irrelevant to business interruption claims as personal belongings of employees do not impact the claim. Option C is also not relevant since the fire department's equipment is not typically involved in determining the business's loss. Option D is not directly related to business interruption. The focus is on the financial impact on the business itself, not the number of employees affected. Question 5. Which of the following is a key consideration when calculating the depreciation of damaged property in South Dakota? A. The market value of the property immediately before the loss. B. The actual cash value of the property, which accounts for depreciation. C. The potential for property to increase in value after repairs. D. The replacement cost of the property without considering depreciation. Answer: B. The actual cash value of the property, which accounts for depreciation. Explanation: in South Dakota, the calculation of depreciation is a crucial element when adjusting property damage claims. The actual cash value, SEV, of the property is used, which is determined by subtracting depreciation from the replacement cost. Depreciation reflects the decrease in value due to factors such as age, wear, and condition. Option A is incorrect because market value is not typically used in calculating depreciation for insurance claims. Option C is irrelevant, as the focus should be on the loss as it was before the damage occurred, not on potential future value. Option D is incorrect because the replacement cost does not account for depreciation, which is required to calculate ACV. Question 6. Which action should an adjuster take if they suspect fraud or misrepresentation during the claims process in South Dakota? A. Proceed with the claim as usual, as fraud is unlikely. B. Immediately report the suspicion to the South Dakota Division of Insurance. C. Attempt to settle the claim before involving law enforcement. D. Ignore the fraud suspicion and let the company handle it later. Answer: B. Immediately report the suspicion to the South Dakota Division of Insurance. Explanation: if an adjuster suspects fraud or misrepresentation, they have a legal and ethical obligation to report it immediately to the appropriate regulatory authority, such as the South Dakota Division of Insurance. This helps prevent fraudulent claims and protects the integrity of the insurance industry. Option A is incorrect because fraud should never be ignored, as it undermines the fairness of the claims process. Option C is incorrect because settling a claim before reporting fraud can result in legal consequences and perpetuate fraudulent activity. Option D is also wrong, as ignoring the issue could lead to regulatory sanctions or professional disciplinary action. Question 7. Which of the following best describes the role of an adjuster when handling a workers' compensation claim in South Dakota? A. To determine if the employer was negligent and should be held liable. B. To evaluate the extent of the injury and ensure the proper medical treatments are provided. C. To negotiate the settlement between the employee and the employer. D. To ensure the injured worker returns to work as soon as possible, regardless of medical advice. Answer: B. To evaluate the extent of the injury and ensure the proper medical treatments are provided. Explanation: the adjuster's primary role in a workers' compensation claim in South Dakota is to assess the extent of the injury and determine the necessary medical treatments for the injured worker. The adjuster is responsible for evaluating the medical records, coordinating with healthcare providers, and ensuring that the worker receives appropriate benefits. Option A is incorrect because workers' compensation is a no-fault system, meaning negligence does not have to be proven for the worker to receive benefits. Option C is incorrect, as the adjuster does not negotiate between the worker and the employer, rather, they process the claim in line with the state's workers' compensation laws. Option D is also incorrect, as the adjuster must adhere to medical advice to ensure proper recovery, not rush the injured worker back to work prematurely. Question 8. Which of the following is a factor that claims adjusters must consider when determining whether a liability claim involves negligence? A. Whether the insured's actions were intentional. B. Whether the injured party experienced pain and suffering. C. Whether the insured owed a duty of care to the claimant and breached that duty. D. Whether the claim was reported on time. Answer: C. Whether the insured owed a duty of care to the claimant and breached that duty. Explanation: in liability claims, the key factor for determining negligence is whether the insured owed a duty of care to the claimant, whether that duty was breached, and whether the breach caused the claimant's injury. This is the foundational concept in tort law. Option A is incorrect because negligence does not require intentional actions. It can be the result of carelessness or failure to exercise reasonable care. Option B is not relevant for determining negligence, though pain and suffering may be considered in assessing damages. Option D refers to claim handling, not negligence, and is not a factor in determining fault. Question 9. What is the main reason for an adjuster to evaluate the loss of use coverage in a property damage claim? A. To determine if the insured is entitled to additional payments for damages to personal belongings. B. To assess the cost of repairs for damaged property. C. To calculate the rental value of temporary accommodation or equipment during repairs. D. To decide whether to replace damaged property or repair it. Answer C. To calculate the rental value of temporary accommodation or equipment during repairs. Explanation: loss of use coverage is designed to compensate the policyholder for additional costs incurred when their property is unusable due to damage. This could include the rental of temporary housing, equipment, or other necessary services while the property is being repaired or replaced. Option A is incorrect because loss of use pertains to additional living expenses or business expenses, not personal belongings. Option B is unrelated, as the cost of repairs is addressed under property damage coverage, not loss of use. Option D is incorrect because deciding whether to replace or repair property falls under property damage valuation, not loss of use. Question 10. Which of the following is an ethical guideline that adjusters must follow when handling a claim for a life insurance policy? A. The adjuster must advocate for the insurer's interests over the policyholder's interests. B. The adjuster must ensure that any exclusions in the policy are explained clearly to the beneficiary. C. The adjuster must delay claim processing to ensure the insurer has time to investigate the case further. D. The adjuster must refuse to process claims if the policyholder has missed a premium payment. Answer B. The adjuster must ensure that any exclusions in the policy are explained clearly to the beneficiary. Explanation: ethical guidelines for adjusters require them to provide clear and transparent communication, especially regarding policy exclusions. It is the adjuster's responsibility to inform the beneficiary of any exclusions or limitations in the policy that might affect the claim. Option A is incorrect because the adjuster must act impartially, ensuring fairness to both the insurer and the policyholder. Option C is unethical because it delays the claims process unnecessarily. Option D is incorrect because a missed premium payment typically leads to lapse in coverage, but the adjuster should still process the claim according to the policy terms and investigate whether the claim is valid. Question 11. Which of the following is a primary responsibility of an adjuster when investigating a claim for a stolen vehicle? A. Determine whether the vehicle owner has insurance coverage. B. Determine if the vehicle was left unsecured in a public place. C. Evaluate the amount of depreciation on the stolen vehicle. D. Verify that the police report accurately reflects the incident. Answer D. Verify that the police report accurately reflects the incident. Explanation: an adjuster's primary responsibility in investigating a stolen vehicle claim is to verify that the police report accurately reflects the incident. This includes checking the details of the theft, the time and location, and whether the vehicle owner has filed a report. Option A is not an investigation step, but more of a claim eligibility review. Option B might be considered during the investigation, but it is not the primary focus. Option C pertains more to the valuation of the vehicle rather than the investigation of the theft. Question 12. What is the main purpose of replacement cost coverage in a property insurance policy? A. To provide the insured with the actual cash value of damaged property. B. To reimburse the insured for the full cost of replacing damaged property without factoring in depreciation. C. To help cover the cost of repairs to prevent further damage. D. To cover the costs of temporary accommodation while the property is repaired. Answer B. To reimburse the insured for the full cost of replacing damaged property without factoring in depreciation. Explanation: replacement cost coverage is designed to reimburse the insured for the full cost of replacing the damaged property without deducting depreciation. This ensures that the insured can replace the damaged property with new items of similar kind and quality. Option A is incorrect because actual cash value involves depreciation, whereas replacement cost does not. Option C pertains to loss of use coverage, not replacement cost. Option D is related to additional living expenses, not replacement cost. Question 13. Which of the following is a valid reason for an insurer to deny a claim under a homeowner's policy in South Dakota? A. The homeowner failed to report the loss to the insurer within a reasonable time frame. B. The homeowner did not maintain the property in good condition. C. The homeowner did not report the loss to the police. D. The homeowner caused the damage intentionally. Answer D. The homeowner caused the damage intentionally. Explanation: most insurance policies exclude coverage for losses caused by intentional acts. If the homeowner intentionally caused the damage, The insurer can deny the claim based on the principle of non-coverage for intentional acts. Option A is incorrect because failure to report a loss may only affect the claim processing, not result in an automatic denial. Option B may affect coverage for certain types of damage, but it would not necessarily lead to an outright denial unless negligence was involved. Option C is often a requirement for claims related to theft or vandalism, but failure to report to the police doesn't automatically result in a claim denial. Question 14. What is the primary purpose of medical payments coverage in a homeowner's insurance policy? A. To cover the medical expenses of the policyholder after an accident on their property. B. To cover the costs associated with the repair of the home after a covered loss. C. To cover the medical expenses of guests or visitors who are injured on the policyholder's property. D. To pay for the legal costs of defending the homeowner in court. Answer C. To cover the medical expenses of guests or visitors who are injured on the policyholder's property. Explanation: medical payments coverage is designed to cover the medical expenses of guests or visitors who are injured on the policyholder's property regardless of fault. It typically covers minor injuries and does not require a lawsuit. Option A is incorrect because medical payments do not cover the policyholder's own injuries, and it covers injuries to others. Option B refers to property damage, not medical payments. Option D refers to liability coverage, not medical payments. Question 15. Which of the following best describes underinsured motorist coverage? A. Coverage that pays for damages to the insured's vehicle when the other driver is uninsured. B. Coverage that provides liability coverage for the insured when the other driver is underinsured. C. Coverage that helps pay for damages if the other driver's insurance is insufficient to cover the full cost of the insured's losses. D. Coverage that reimburses the insured for medical expenses regardless of the other driver's insurance status. Answer C. Coverage that helps pay for damages if the other driver's insurance is insufficient to cover the full cost of the insured's losses. Explanation: underinsured motorist coverage helps pay for damages when the at-fault driver has insurance, but it is insufficient to cover the full cost of the insured's medical bills, property damage, or other losses. Option A describes uninsured motorist coverage, not underinsured. Option B refers to liability coverage, which applies when the insured is at fault, not when the other driver is underinsured. Option D does not accurately describe underinsured motorist coverage, as it focuses on medical expenses from the insured's perspective. Question 16. What is the purpose of a deductible in an insurance policy? A. To limit the insurer's payout for a claim. B. To encourage the policyholder to file fewer claims. C. To reduce the premium amount the policyholder pays. D. To cover the cost of legal fees during a claim investigation. Answer C. To reduce the premium amount the policyholder pays. Explanation: a deductible is an amount the policyholder must pay out of pocket before the insurance coverage kicks in. By selecting a higher deductible, policyholders often reduce their premium payments. Option A is incorrect because the deductible does not limit the insurer's payout, it just determines how much the insured must pay before the insurance coverage applies. Option B is not the primary purpose of a deductible, though it may indirectly encourage fewer claims. Option D is irrelevant to the purpose of the deductible, which concerns claims payments, not legal fees. Question 17. What is the primary role of an adjuster when a claim involves damage to commercial property from a natural disaster? A. To determine the personal liability of the property owner. B. To assess the extent of physical damage and estimate repair or replacement costs. C. To settle disputes between the property owner and contractors. D. To determine the exact cause of the disaster. Answer B. To assess the extent of physical damage and estimate repair or replacement costs. Explanation: the primary role of an adjuster in this situation is to assess the extent of physical damage to the property and estimate the costs associated with repairs or replacement. This includes evaluating the structure, contents, and any business interruption losses. Option A is incorrect because the adjuster's role is to assess the property damage, not determine liability. Option C is not part of the adjuster's duties. The adjuster handles claims, not disputes with contractors. Option D is not the focus of the adjuster's role, as the cause of the disaster is generally not in dispute unless it's necessary to evaluate the claim. Question 18. Which of the following is covered under most standard homeowners insurance policies? A. Flood damage to the property. B. Damage caused by termites. C. Theft of personal property from the home. D. Earthquake damage. Answer: C. Theft of personal property from the home. Explanation: theft of personal property from the home is typically covered under most standard homeowners insurance policies as part of the personal property coverage. Option A is incorrect because flood damage is generally not covered under standard policies and requires a separate flood insurance policy. Option B is incorrect because damage caused by termites is typically excluded under most homeowners insurance policies. Option D is incorrect as earthquake damage is generally excluded and requires additional earthquake coverage. Question 19. When is subrogation used in the claims process? A. When the insurer seeks reimbursement from the at-fault party's insurer after paying the policyholder's claim. B. When the policyholder sues the insurance company for denial of their claim. C. When the insurer adjusts the claim amount based on the depreciation of the property. D. When the insurance company decides to settle the claim without an investigation. Answer: A. When the insurer seeks reimbursement from the at-fault party's insurer after paying the policyholder's claim. Explanation: subrogation occurs when the insurer seeks reimbursement from the at-fault party's insurer after the insurer has already paid the policyholder's claim. This allows the insurer to recover costs from the responsible party. Option B is incorrect because subrogation refers to the insurer recovering costs, not the policyholder suing the insurer. Option C refers to depreciation in claims adjustments, not subrogation. Option D is unrelated to subrogation, as subrogation deals with recovery from third parties, not settling claims without investigation. Question 20. Which of the following would most likely result in a claim being denied under an auto insurance policy? A. The insured failed to notify the insurer about a vehicle theft within 24 hours. B. The insured is involved in an accident while driving under the influence of alcohol. C. The insured had an accident while their vehicle was parked at a shopping mall. D. The insured's car was damaged in a hailstorm while parked outside. Answer: B. The insured is involved in an accident while driving under the influence of alcohol. Explanation: driving under the influence (DUI) is a major violation of most auto insurance policies and can result in a claim denial. Insurance companies typically exclude coverage for accidents that occur while the insured is intoxicated. Option A is incorrect as failure to notify the insurer in a timely manner may lead to delays or penalties, but not automatic denial. Option C is incorrect because parking at a shopping mall is not typically grounds for claim denial unless the driver was negligent. Option D is incorrect because damage from hail is generally covered under comprehensive auto insurance policies. Question 21. Which of the following best describes liability coverage in an auto insurance policy? A. Coverage for repairs to the policyholder's own vehicle. B. Coverage for the medical bills of the policyholder and passengers. C. Coverage for damage to another person's property or bodily injury caused by the policyholder. D. Coverage for damages resulting from theft or vandalism of the policyholder's vehicle. Answer: C. Coverage for damage to another person's property or bodily injury caused by the policyholder. Explanation: liability coverage is designed to cover the costs of damages to another person's property or injuries caused by the policyholder in an accident. Option A refers to collision coverage, not liability. Option B refers to medical payments or personal injury protection coverage, not liability. Option D refers to comprehensive coverage, not liability. Question 22. Which of the following is an example of uninsured motorist coverage in an auto insurance policy? A. Coverage for the policyholder's car if they hit an uninsured driver. B. Coverage for medical expenses when the policyholder is hit by a driver with insufficient insurance. C. Coverage for damage to the policyholder's car from a natural disaster. D. Coverage for the cost of repairs to the policyholder's vehicle when the other driver is at fault. Answer: B. Coverage for medical expenses when the policyholder is hit by a driver with insufficient insurance. Explanation: uninsured motorist coverage provides protection for the policyholder if they are injured or their property is damaged by a driver who does not have sufficient or any insurance coverage. Option A refers to collision coverage, not uninsured motorist coverage. Option C refers to comprehensive coverage. Option D refers to liability coverage, not uninsured motorist coverage. Question 23. What is the key difference between an actual cash value and replacement cost coverage? A. CV includes depreciation, while replacement cost does not. B. CV covers the repair costs, while replacement cost covers the replacement of the item. C. HCV is available only for vehicles, while replacement cost is available for homes. D. HCV applies only to liability claims, while replacement cost applies to property claims. Answer: AACV includes depreciation, while replacement cost does not. Explanation: the key difference between actual cash value (SCV) and replacement cost coverage is that ACV takes depreciation into account when reimbursing for a loss, whereas replacement cost covers the full cost of replacing the damaged property with a new item without considering depreciation. Option B is incorrect because both ACV and replacement cost may cover repairs or replacements, but ACV factors in depreciation. Option C is incorrect because both types of coverage can apply to homes and vehicles. Option D is incorrect because both HCV and replacement cost can apply to property claims. Question 24. Which of the following is typically excluded from coverage under a standard homeowner's insurance policy? A. Fire damage to the home. B. Theft of personal property from the home. C. Damage caused by an earthquake. D. Liability for injuries sustained by visitors on the property. Answer: C. Damage caused by an earthquake. Explanation: damage caused by an earthquake is typically excluded from coverage under a standard homeowner's insurance policy. Earthquake insurance must be purchased separately in most cases. Option A, B, and D are generally covered under standard homeowners policies unless specific exclusions apply. Question 25. What is the main purpose of umbrella insurance coverage? A. To provide additional liability coverage above and beyond other insurance policies. B. To provide health insurance benefits in case of injury. C. To cover the cost of replacing damaged property. D. To cover the cost of repairs to a vehicle after an accident. Answer: A. To provide additional liability coverage above and beyond other insurance policies. Explanation: umbrella insurance is designed to provide additional liability coverage above and beyond the limits of the policyholder's other insurance policies, such as auto or homeowners insurance. It helps protect against large claims or lawsuits. Option B refers to health insurance, not umbrella insurance. Option C refers to property damage coverage, not umbrella insurance. Option D refers to auto insurance, not umbrella insurance. Question 26. Which of the following is typically covered under commercial general liability (CGL) policy? A. Property damage caused by the policyholder's business activities. B. Medical bills for employees injured on the job. C. Damage to the policyholder's own business property. D. Loss of income due to a natural disaster. Answer: A. Property damage caused by the policyholder's business activities. Explanation: a commercial general liability (CGL) policy provides coverage for third-party claims for property damage or bodily injury caused by the policyholder's business activities. Option B refers to workers' compensation, not CGL. Option C refers to business property insurance, not CGL. Option D is typically covered by business interruption insurance, not CGL. Question 27. Which of the following best describes the coinsurance clause in a property insurance policy? A. A requirement for the insured to maintain a certain level of insurance coverage to avoid penalties. B. A feature that allows the insurer to automatically pay for repairs without the insured's consent. C. A policy provision that offers additional coverage for natural disasters. D. A clause that limits the insured's liability for certain types of property damage. Answer: A. A requirement for the insured to maintain a certain level of insurance coverage to avoid penalties. Explanation: the coinsurance clause requires the insured to maintain a certain level of insurance, typically 80% or more of the property's value, to avoid a penalty in the event of a claim. If the insured does not meet the coinsurance requirement, they may have to pay a larger portion of the loss. Option B is incorrect because repairs must be authorized by the insured. Option C refers to coverage for specific risks, not coinsurance. Option D is incorrect as coinsurance does not limit liability but affects how claims are paid. Question 20. Which of the following is a common exclusion in a life insurance policy? A. Suicide within the first 2 years of the policy. B. Natural death after the policy has been in force for 5 years. C. An accidental death caused by a car crash. D. Terminal illness diagnosed after the policyholder turns 60. Answer: A. Suicide within the first 2 years of the policy. Explanation: most life insurance policies have a suicide exclusion during the first 2 years of the policy. If the policyholder dies by suicide within that period, the insurer typically will not pay the death benefit. Option B is incorrect because natural death is generally covered by life insurance after the policy has been in force for a specified period. Option C is incorrect because accidental death is typically covered. Option D is incorrect because terminal illness may be covered depending on the policy's terms. Question 29. In a claim scenario, what is an endorsement in an insurance policy? A formal reduction in the coverage limits for a particular type of claim. B. A change or addition to the terms of the insurance policy. C. A clause that excludes coverage for certain risks. D. A clause that limits the insurer's ability to cancel the policy. Answer B. A change or addition to the terms of the insurance policy. Explanation. An endorsement is a written amendment to an insurance policy that changes or adds to the terms of the coverage. This could be an increase in coverage, a change in policy limits, or the addition of new coverage. Option A refers to a reduction in coverage, not an endorsement. Option C refers to exclusions, not endorsements. Option D is incorrect because endorsements do not typically involve cancellation clauses. Question 30. Which of the following types of insurance would most likely cover damages to an insured's vehicle caused by hitting a deer? A. Collision insurance. B. Comprehensive insurance. C. Liability insurance. D. Personal injury protection insurance. Answer B. Comprehensive insurance. Explanation. Comprehensive insurance covers damage to the insured's vehicle caused by events other than a collision, such as hitting a deer, theft, vandalism, or natural disasters. Option A refers to collision insurance, which only covers damages from collisions. Option C refers to liability insurance, which covers damage to others' property or injuries caused by the policyholder. Option D refers to medical expenses, not vehicle damage.